Matthew 16:24, Jesus says, "Take up your cross and follow me." For many believers, that sentence has been heard as a lifelong demand. Endure more, try harder, and crucify yourself daily. And yet Scripture invites us to deeper thought than just traditions of man. We are called to rightfully divide the word, and it says this in 2 Timothy 2:15. What Jesus presented to his disciples as a call before the cross, Paul explains as a completed reality after the cross. When Jesus talked about taking up the cross was still ahead of him. His face was set towards Jerusalem. Luke 9:51 reminds us that the work had not yet been finished. So Jesus' words, they carried the weight of preparation. If anyone desires to follow me, there is a cost. There was a warning. There was a death coming, and that was his. But Paul does not stand beside Jesus on the road to Jerusalem. Paul, he speaks as the apostle of the risen and ascended Christ. He never tells the born-again, spirit-filled believer to go and crucify themselves. He says in Galatians 2:20 that I have been crucified with Christ. This is past tense, it is completed, and it is finished. What was once presented as a demand by Jesus is now being presented by Paul as already finished. Paul consistently places the believer after the cross and not under it. You and me were baptized into Christ's death, and we were buried with him. Our starting point as a new creation is not suffering, but it is the tomb, and we see this in Romans 6:3-4. The suffering required for sin's punishment is already finished. John 19:30 reminds us that Christ endured it, Christ absorbed it, and Christ completed it. We enter death without tasting it. And then we are raised, but it is only by Christ's resurrection life. Hebrews 4:10 reminds us that the Christian life does not begin with effort, it begins with rest.